There's a slight tinge of, you know, the French accent in there.
Because you know that my French accent is perfect, so I will obviously perfect this.
Frenchius? Frenchius cast. It's day one, man. We can crack out whatever they want.
There's a lot of French fans in the audience today. I don't need to offend all of them, okay? But I'm excited to see what he's capable of. When I look at his champion pool throughout his history, he has a very deep and versatile pool throughout his career. He seems to play engage supports, he seems to play range supports, he seems to be able to play the healers, the utility, the front line. Like he seems to be very flexible in what he can actually bring to the Rift. And domestically, when he was playing in the LFL, he did have some level of success, winning Spring in 2023. But we'll see what he's able to do, because Rogue has been struggling. Last year, they went from 3rd place to 5th place to 8th place. An organization that was last year Koi, now back to Rogue. Back in 2022, they were the LEC Summer Champions, and last year they were only on the decline. So these changes are hoping to revitalize this Rogue roster, give us something new, and hopefully we see a different version of Rogue that we haven't seen before.
I think the addition of Markian will definitely help them with that. He was a very good, proactive jungler in his time on SK, one of the junglers we thought could really rise through the ranks, and now the question is, can he continue that with Rogan, specifically with Larssen? I think Larssen often is overlooked in terms of our mid pool. I think often he's #1 or #2 best mids in the region, but because you have names like Caps and names like Humanoid, sometimes he is sort of demoted down those ranks because his style isn't as flashy as some of those other players. He's great at utility, he's great at mages, and often you don't see that pure burst style, that pure outplay potential from Larssen. That doesn't mean he doesn't have that in his toolkit.
See what he's prioritizing today. Jax going to be taken away from Irrelevant. For those that remember, Irrelevant was an avid Jax player last year. When the rework came through, he was someone that took full advantage. Irrelevant, one of the few players outside of the top 3 teams to actually make it into the All-Pro. He had an incredible year overall. Really shining star for SK, so very excited to see him back onto the Rift and what he brings for us. But so far, the band's looking very similar to what we saw in Game 1, but the Nocturne now taken away from Isma.
Not too surprising.
You were hoping to see.
Yeah, it's one of his best champions in my opinion. There's the Kalista band as well. LeBlanc, it is AD LeBlanc we'll be seeing. We're on 14.1 without the hotfix, so AD LeBlanc still very powerful with Voltaic Cyclo Sword. You can look that one up for yourselves at home. Rumble banned away. Jax and Rumble widely regarded as the 2 best top laners on this patch. We'll see where SK go with their final ban. It will be the Caitlyn. I wonder if Rogue will look to prioritize something strong for comp. Could be the Aphelios, but with Kalista already banned away, instead they will go towards the Varus.
I mean, when we got to watch a bunch of the in-houses that the pros were playing on the new patch last year, Varus Ashe were the 2 AD carries that quickly rose to prominence. Last game we saw the Kalista first pick, this time we're seeing the Varus. I wonder if SK will respond with an Aphelios of their own. What they have planned. This is going to be our first Azir of the year.
I just hope Larssen picks Corki into it, man.
Why would you say
2024
that?
the way we want to go on?
Well, I mean, on the hotfix, he is getting a small buff. It seems that the itemization didn't benefit him as it did others.
I think he's at a 46% win rate generally, so wouldn't.
Which is why I like him.
Yeah,
personally.
I can agree with that. There's the Jhin.
Nice.
Love
to see myself a bit of Jhin.
Really strong. If you are playing on the hotfix, Hubris got a massive buff. Yep. And so a lot of Jhins are building Hubris on 14.1B. Don't expect to see it here from Exakick, but it is still very strong if you do go lethality. Wondering, oh no.
He's hovering.
No, he's actually memeing. There's no way.
Medic was joking earlier, Larssen. He was joking.
Please.
There's no need to lock that in.
Please, Larssen.
No, why would you?
Teemo, though.
It's not going to lock in.
Teemo has one of the highest win rates in top lane of any top laner.
He's going to lock in Orianna, as expected. This is Larssen we're talking about. So we're going to have a mage off in the mid lane between Niski and Larssen, 2 of our most veteran mid laners here in the LEC. The Aatrox blind coming in for Jigenda. Jigenda is someone that we talked a lot about last year, is showcasing a lot of great promise, like really good laning, often finding advantages by himself or with a few ganks from Malrang last year, but he couldn't really convert that into big carry performances when Rogue was struggling. It was hard for him to really convert those leads into much more. Perhaps now, with the different version of Rogue, he can get those greater resources. He can be a bigger threat for the team. Yep. Definitely a player that we'll be keeping our eyes on. Is Xin Zao going to be locked in for Isma?
Still a very strong jungler, something we've seen Isma on in the past. Very powerful with Sundered Sky as well, because of how often you can proc that passive on different champions in a team fight, how easy it is for you just to jump in and get that automatic crit. Expect we'll see it alongside the Titanic Hydra. Jayce banned away. I'll keep looking towards the top lane. Jayce, wouldn't be surprised if Rogue just look only at top lane bans in this rotation. Make sure that Aatrox is in a strong position. And when you already see SK have locked their mid and their AD carry, it's not really much more of a pool to pinch there. Rell now taken away by SK, trying to mitigate some of the teamfight threat that Rogue have, because they do already have a very strong one-row combo with the Shockwave, with the Chain of Corruption, and obviously with the World Ender from Aatrox. SK could go Kayle Morgana here, because I watched the cinematic, and that's how you take down an Aatrox.
True, that's,
you know,
it's a great point, Medic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a follow-up for that, but thanks for that insight. Renekton.
Could have talked about how much you love the song.
I do love the song. Do you know what? I also love seeing Renekton bands. Give us something spicy now. Let's see what we can get in the top lane.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is support, actually. Obviously, you want counter support,
well, I think that
but
you just go top here.
Yeah.
So, you guys can't see it, but
now
Gwen,
they can.
Now they can, yeah. Gwen has been locked in for SK because they want counterpick for DOS. So, Alice, we already talked about how deep his champion pool is on support. And I guess that they're waiting to see what he is cooking, what he's got prepared. Marku going for a bit of comfort here. Lee Sin, something that he's had some great performances on throughout his career. I don't love the combination of Lee Sin with Orianna. As a mid-jungle duo, it's not the most threatening. Usually Lee wants to try and work with the early prio. Some mid laners can get things like LeBlanc or Ari. Both have great setup for Lee Sin to work with. Orianna, not the best. Rakan, though, great roaming support, something that we've seen a lot of from Zoelis' career. I'm never going to pronounce his name right.
Zoelis.
Zoelis?
Yeah, the thing is, I might be mispronouncing it, but I'm so sure that's what Law told me. Apologies, obviously, to anyone at home if we are mispronouncing it. We'll make sure we get it corrected by next week. But I'm pretty sure it's like Zoelis. That's how I thought it was.
Zoelis. Yeah. See, I thought it was 3 syllables, like Zoelis.
Well, the other way I heard it was like Zoe Lease, which is more Zoelis, right? Zoe Lease.
Okay.
Anyway, Bard was locked.
Bard was locked. I did think about the Bard, but I wasn't sure how high priority teams actually put Bard on the current patch, but it does seem that with the change in itemizations, definitely up there. Haven't seen a decent amount of Trailblazer being picked up by the champion as well.
The thing with Bard, he's like Varus, okay?
You can just build
if any item is broken, somehow he'll utilize it. So Trailblazer is really good. You can go Celestial Opposition into Trailblazer. That's the support, the bounty of worlds.
I see Dracos do Blood Song.
Yeah, that's Dracos. You can go Blood Song if you want that little bit of extra damage as well, but I'd expect this to be more of a tank utility Bard, because you have Gwen, Xin Zao, Azir, Jhin. You have so many power picks. You don't really need more damage to come out.
But here's what I'll say. Rogue gone for a very traditional team fight.